Hello YouTube, and welcome to Turmoil in the Toybox. I'm your host, Aaron Hauser, and today we're going to be reviewing the Jakks Pacific 24-inch tall Godzilla figure. And this is from the 2014 film, which I have seen officially twice this week, and if you haven't seen the movie yet, go. This thing is beautifully done, completely obliterates the memory of Roland Emmerich's attempt at a Godzilla film. Not to mention that they got the look and design and feel of Godzilla perfectly. They just did it so on point that I can't really see any other way they could have done it for an update of this nature. So, taking a look at the Jakks Pacific Godzilla, this thing is incredibly well done. It's not as detailed as, say, like a NECA figure, but it does, for a big display piece like this, have a lot of really nice detailing. And like I said, this thing is 24 inches tall and features about 10 points of articulation. You've got articulation in the tail. There's a point that swings left and right there. The tail actually detaches at the base, right there. Kind of has a lock into position there. And then you've got articulation in the hips, in the feet, in the arms, in the wrists, in the head, in the jaw. They even got the tongue in there, looks cool. They did a great job on the eyes. Love them. And overall, this thing is just massive, and I am taking figures out on my shelf. So glad I got that on camera. It's actually kind of funny because right before I started filming, my wife was like, "You're going to destroy a whole bunch of stuff in the process of doing this review." So there you go, Jen. It did come to pass. So, to give you kind of an idea of how big this guy is, let me show you what he looks like next to a NECA quarter scale figure. So here he is next to Batman, and that's of course the new NECA Arkham Origins Batman quarter scale figure, which I'm going to be doing a review on today as well. But yeah, he just towers over even a quarter scale figure. Now, as far as pros and cons go for this guy, as you can see, he's not as detailed as a normal NECA figure. Has more of a sort of plastic look to him. But honestly, for something this size and for the price, I wasn't too... I don't know, that didn't annoy me as much. It does have sort of a plastic shell look to it, but you know, when you're actually looking at it on display, I think it just works. I really loved the paint application on this. They did a great job. There's a couple minor points, like on the tooth there. But overall, it just looks fantastic. Has a total of 10 points of articulation, like I said. They could have done more, but, you know, overall, I think for something this size, you know, they're going to have to cut corners as far as what's worth articulating and what's not, and I think for something this big, they did a fantastic job. And I've actually always been a fan of the Jakks Pacific large-scale figures. They did a great job with the Star Wars ones, and I've seen a couple other ones they did, and they've all been pretty well done for their size. Now, the only other thing that really kind of drove me nuts about this was the fact that it looks like this figure was actually designed to house a sound option. As you can see right there, there's actually these small slats for where a speaker could have been. And I'm not sure how easy it'll be to get this tail off again, but underneath there is actually a small panel that looks like a battery cover. Now, the battery cover was never fully hollowed out, so it doesn't have a whole lot of use, and there's no electronics in it or anything like that, so it doesn't really matter. And I'd say that it's kind of weird to have that invisible, not invisible, but that useless sound portion hollowed out on the figure, but it's really, you can't really see it, especially when you've got the tail in place and you've got this thing on display. It's really kind of hard to notice that, so overall, not bad. Now, talking about the price for this thing, I picked this up at Toys R Us for, I think it was $43. I had a internet, I think it was like a 20% off coupon or whatever that I used for it, so that helped. But I ended up getting the last one in stock at my local Toys R Us, which was really nice, and they were kind enough to hold it for me. And for 43 to 50 bucks, this thing is an epic win. This thing is just beautifully done. It is, you know, if you'll pardon the pun, monstrous on display and just demands attention, and it's so cool to look at. But there are a lot of people on Amazon.com and eBay that are just scalping the hell out of this thing, selling it for around 80 to, I've seen it, I think 150 at one point on eBay, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, if this thing was like, you know, way more articulated, had a lot more definition and stuff to the design, then maybe I'd see going 150, but this is a Jakks Pacific figure. And though it is phenomenal on display, it is not worth more than, hell, I'd even say maybe 60 bucks. And I feel like that's generous. So overall, this is a beautifully done figure. I absolutely love it. If you are into the large format figures like the Star Wars ones or some of the other, I think they did a couple Marvel ones, or Spider-Man at least, I remember. I would definitely suggest getting this guy, especially if you're a huge fan of the new film like I am. The only thing that I would have loved to seen in this is that sound design, that option to have the roar, the iconic roar, especially the way they remixed the new roar. It sounded so cool in theaters. So, but yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions about this figure, just leave them in the comments below, and check out some of my other reviews, including a review that I will be shooting today on the NECA 6-inch or 7-inch scale Godzilla figure from the 2014 film. So, that's about it. As always, thanks for watching.